Me and Dom just checked out Longlegs. Was it the scariest movie of all time? We're going to let you know. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to Fly By Night Reviews. I'm your host Kiren.
I'm Dom.
Today, me and Dom are reviewing Longlegs starring Nicolas Cage. But before we start, make sure you like and subscribe below. We would really appreciate all the support. We're already past 200, so let's keep that momentum going. But without further ado, Dom, what did you think of this movie?
It was not great. It was. See, I can appreciate slow movies. I enjoyed the second Blade Runner movie. That was a slow burn, but this one it was a slow burn, but boring too.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like slow burn movies. I love kind of I could see what they were trying to do with this film. They were trying to build up kind of suspense from the get go.
Right.
I was actually really surprised it was directed by Oz Perkins. He's the son of Anthony Perkins.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The guy who was in Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of I think I heard about that prior, but I totally spaced out. And
Right.
this film kind of gives off a very a millennial director vibe. I mean, I'm a millennial, or we're millennials,
Right.
but it seemed like a younger director made this movie, and it was kind of made to appeal to a younger audience almost.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. It was It was ideas from different movies, and then some tired tropes. Really tired tropes.
Yeah, it's basically an FBI agent's kind of brought onto a cold case, so these mysterious murders that happen over a span of 30 years, and she's kind of it's kind of almost what was that movie? I've never seen it, but it was they have this weird code that they have to kind of solve. It was
Not the Bone Collector.
it wasn't. It could be Bone Collector too.
Uh,
But yeah, there's this weird code that Longlegs, who's played by Nicolas Cage.
That makeup took me out of it. Every time they actually showed. They were smart to avoid showing his face. But every time they did see his face, it just took you out of it.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where you kind of you sort of see him early on,
Uh-huh.
and you already know he's the killer or whatever. But what leads up to it explains how these murders happened. And we said in our first reaction, I was kind of thinking it was going to be a more grounded,
Right.
kind of horror / kind of thriller movie, but
Which it almost kind of starts off that way.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then it kind of towards the end, it just gets really exposition heavy, and then it kind of goes a whole occult, supernatural kind of vibe, which I wasn't really.
Yeah, like I said, the satanic panic kind of thing is just it's played out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was scary in the 70s and possibly the early 80s.
Yeah.
But now it's real life is scarier, to be honest. We got other shit to worry about than freaking Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main actress, Lee Harker, played by Micah Monroe. I wasn't a fan really of her acting in it. I mean, I'm not saying she was a bad actor. I think
Right.
maybe this was possibly
Some of it is also due to material, direction. Yeah.
well, it also could have been intentional too.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, maybe they were kind of trying to, have her be more, I guess, like you mentioned, autistic, and
Right.
so I saw some other reviews mentioning Asperger's and this and that, jokingly saying
Definitely on the spectrum somewhat.
yeah, but yeah, she just kind of felt out of place. I know the character or the actress is 30 years old, but she seemed like she was way younger, and then maybe it was her voice, so she sounded very
Yeah, the way she played it, yeah.
And then we have Blair Underwood, who plays William Carter. He's the FBI agent that she kind of, or her I guess upper tier FBI agent or whatever. Or her superior.
There you go. That's the word, superior.
And he kind of plays if you ever seen Blair Underwood in other films and shows and stuff, he's kind of the same sort of character. And I think they brought him in to kind of give that 90s feel, because this movie is set in the 90s.
It definitely does have a 90s feel to it also, which is also why it's very familiar kind of tone to it.
Yeah, I heard it was shot on like film, actual film too, so it was kind of, and that was cool. They didn't really beat you over the head with like the 90s references either.
It was mostly like, I think just like between the cars and every once in a while you'll see Bill Clinton's picture in the office.
Yeah. But I think the reason why some of these, like, I used to think it's a trend, setting it in the 90s and 80s, but I think they do that so, because like now with like technology, cell phones, it's not as like mysterious, I guess. Like you can't really have like a crazed killer out there with all the technology. I mean, so I could understand they're kind of, they go back more retro to sort of, bring back that sort of feel, but
back to a simpler time.
But yeah, I mean, it's just the story, like Nicolas Cage as Longlegs. It was like, there were parts I really liked about it. He it was almost like a cross between like Buffalo Bill and like who else?
Yeah, they didn't need to put that makeup on him. That was he could have done that role without the makeup, and it would have probably been a little better.
Yeah, I mean, he looked too freakish. Like, it was like, why wasn't he caught earlier? I mean, he did look like a serial killer walking around. But, in reality, serial killers tend to be
normal looking.
They blend into society really well. That's how they're able to get away with it, So, in that angle, it was kind of like, okay, he looks kind of scary or whatever, but at the end of the movie, no spoilers, but you find out, okay, it's a little bit the whole supernatural angle of it. It's like, okay, it doesn't matter what he looks like, really, But I honestly think this movie was overhyped. I mean,
tremendously. But yeah,
it was like given like crazy scores. Like, I mean, but then again, it's like you got film reviewers who are probably like, they go to the premiere, they get a little excited, they're hanging out with the actors and actresses, and they're like, maybe that changes their experience watching the movie.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad we went in kind of like just cold and like sort of like, I was expecting it to be really good actually, and really like, scary and kind of like disturbing, but it didn't really disturb me. It didn't really.
No, there was a couple of scenes where you just kind of wince a little bit, but.
Yeah. A couple of jump scares, a couple of like, they use a lot of like kind of, suspenseful kind of music to sort of build up the tension a little bit, but I thought it looked nice. There were parts where they really shrunk down the view port of the camera,
right?
And that was kind of like, slowly expanded it for effect, whatever. But I feel like the ending definitely kind of like sealed the deal and kind of like making it not so great for me, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, have you seen the movie? Well, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe below. Have you seen Longlegs?
Are there any scary movies you're looking forward to that are to come out? I know we're looking forward to Alien Romulus.
Oh, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
I'll just say Alien. Alien.
Alien Romulus. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that next week. Super stoked. Probably get the bad taste of Longlegs out of my mouth. But anyway, it was great chatting with you guys, and we will catch you next time.
Peace.